Can you imagine trying to go shopping and this is what you see at Target?
Take your mask off!
Yeah, take it off!
Fucking idiot.
We're not doing it! Take off your mask! Take it off!
Give me your wig. Give me your wig. 'Cause it seems like you are through with it.
Child, yes, crazy people. And speaking of crazy people, I never want to see Jeffree Star on my timeline, but if I do, if I have to, this is the only position that I want to see him in. Now, I would prefer if this was something that, was not a stunt and show. I would prefer if it happened in real life, okay? Just a quick reminder, and I want to remind you about something else. Make sure that you're taking your ass over to patreon.com/AdrianExpression. Just put up my new episode on Tuesday of the podcast entitled These Is Bloody Shoes. Of course, that is alluding to the Lovecraft Country episode that just aired. Check it out. Let me know what you think. We always have a good ass time. And speaking of having a good time, really quickly, just want to say Duran Bernard really did the goddamn thing with his new album. I've been following this man for years and years and years. I mean, I think since I was in high school, I started following him. And to see, I think he was like #1 on the iTunes R&B charts today. And it's his birthday too. Just think he's an amazing ass talent. So it's just really cool to see that happening for him. And he did the song with Ari Lennox is on it. It's just, I love that for him. And speaking of loving things, I love the fact that Wandavision is allegedly supposed to be coming out at least by the end of 2020. Cannot wait to see what Scarlet Witch, with the hocus pocus tricks that her ass is about to be doing, the reality warping tricks. Vision better fasten his seatbelts because Miss Mama's going to be changing the multiverse, the universe, all that type of shit. I'm going to be tuned in. I'm going to be tuned into that greedy ass, like I said in my description, greedy ass corporate mouse. Okay, I'm going to tune into that capitalist ass mouse. I want to see WandaVision. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Even higher than Miss Falcon, I don't even know. They should have developed, see, Disney is so bad with they damn niggas. Jeez, they should have developed Falcon enough for us to, as a character, enough for us to give a fuck about him, whatever. We can have a whole conversation about that when it airs. But WandaVision is coming. Something else that's coming is Mandalorian. Now, them girls released a trailer. It was really cute. Loved it. Music sounds amazing. Graphics look crazy. But I heard that there was a rumor that Mr. Pedro, he dipped out halfway through the filming of season 2. So I don't know how, I guess they plan on expanding the story as well. I heard, part of the reason was because the team would not budge on him because he wants to, or at least he wanted to record some scenes without the helmet on. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that shit. I honestly, as a viewer, you want to be connecting to the main character, their face, their facial expressions sometimes. So, I mean, even as an actor, I can imagine how difficult that shit is. So, but apparently the team above said no ma'am. And there were other things as well. I don't know too much of the details about that, but I know that the helmet thing was apparently one of the big deals why, they parted ways, but that's a rumor that's going on. So I don't know, they can't fuck this shit up. They can't fuck this shit up. And the reason why I say that is because Mandalorian is the only thing that's holding the Star Wars franchise together, Miss Mamas. That's all y'all got. Y'all should have bowed down and kissed Pedro's feet. What you talking about? But I'm gonna watch. Baby Yoda gonna slice and dice you hoes up. I'm gonna watch it. Child, I know I put Cardi's name and Offset name in the title, but it's really not much to talk about, honestly. It's just something that should have happened a long time ago. Offs to cheat is he's been put on the chopping block. Cardi B apparently filed for divorce on that ass. According to page 6, Cardi requested legal and primary physical custody of Culture, her 2-year-old daughter, with Offset. Pack your bags up, to the left, pack your bags up, and get your ass on out of here, Offset. I do think that celebrity interactions or marriages are so interesting because wasn't Cardi talking about that her next album or something that she wanted to do, she wanted it to be like her version of Lemonade or whatever. So I think, whatever happens, it's just, it's entertainment. So we're gonna see what comes after this. The people who I really worry about in situations like this are the kids who get tangled up in all this. So I hope that everything is cool with Miss Culture. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Offset got booted off the show like Cardi B was Tyra Banks, and she did not call his name. He's no longer in the running to be America's Next Top Cheater. That's just that on that. So Kanye West is on social media making all types of headlines. You already know how he likes to get his feelings out on social media. At the disservice, at the detriment to us all. We have to just, you know, every time we turn around, he's on here saying something just, or doing something just off the wall, right? So Kanye apparently posted this video of him taking a piss on one of his Grammys. He literally placed it in the toilet and pissed on it. We did not see, it wasn't a Chris Evans type of thing where we saw his peen. We just saw the unfortunate stream hit the bowl and the Grammy. I hate that not only for my eyes but for my ears, because it's just the sensory information that video was giving me. I didn't request it. I didn't want to see it, but yet I was still exposed to it. I'm not gonna expose y'all to that shit. It's crazy to me because like it depends on the week whether or not niggas like they Grammys or not. Like one week they'll be like, yeah girl, I can't believe I won so many Grammys. It's not just Kanye that does this. I find it so weird. Like, oh yeah, I got so many Grammys, and they'll use Grammys as a way to like compare and like a quality test. But then the next day they want to diss the Grammys and diss the establishment. It's like, y'all niggas don't know what the fuck y'all want to be. Like, in my opinion, y'all don't know what y'all want to do. Anyway, so like I said, Kanye took a break from telling us that Jared Kushner is going to save the Middle East and bring peace to the Middle East. Oh, these niggas are so pathetic. To tell us that, let me see what he said. He said that the music industry is a modern day slave ship because black people don't own their music, right? So here's the pattern that I noticed with not only just Kanye, but with a lot of other niggas. Like, they will say shit like slavery is a choice when it's time to take a shit on black people, but when it's their own wallets, but when it's their own, like, I guess not musical catalog on the line, when it's their own contracts that they're fucked up about, all of a sudden now they're like, oh, come together, black people, we need to rise up. And it's just so obvious what they're actually trying to do. Like, y'all niggas don't actually care about the community. Y'all care about y'all own pockets. Y'all care about y'all own careers. And that's what it is. Honestly, I would just prefer niggas say that shit. Like, stop pretending like you, oh yeah, he was just telling us that slavery was a whole ass choice. So now, you know, what are we supposed to do, Mr. Kanye? It's a choice. Get your ass out of there. Make the decision to get your ass out of these contracts. So, I mean, he's been doing things like posting all his contracts, all pages of his contracts on Twitter. He was posting his, like, I don't even know if this is the right term to say, like, litigation strategy, or the way that they're trying to tackle Universal, I think, and Sony. Is it Sony? I think it's Universal Publishing that they're trying to tackle. Like, he's posting the strategy that his lawyers are trying to take. It's like, that shit's just crazy to me. Like, why would you do that? He leaked the phone number of Forbes chief content officer Randall Lane on Twitter. It's just been all over the place. It's crazy because he was asking other people like Drake and shit to retweet. He was asking like Taylor Swift to retweet. Taylor Swift was also dragging about her masters some time ago. It's just 2020 to me. It's just like, what the hell? Kanye basically said, I'm here to save all you black niggas. Like, the industry's taking advantage of us, and I'm Moses to this shit. That's what he said. I'm Moses. And it's interesting, Hit Boy made a comment on that tweet that Kanye made, and these are some of the things that Hit Boy said. So he said, I haven't been a fan of Kanye on a personal / human level since he told me face to face that he stopped picking my beats because I worked with Beyonce. He said, this is after I produced Niggas in Paris, Click, and a myriad of other songs / projects for him and his label Good Music in the 2 years I was signed to them. But he said the tweet that Kanye made is something that he can agree with. He talked about Universal and how he's been held in this fucked up ass contract, and his last 3 lawyers said that this was the worst deal that they'd ever seen. They'd been holding him in the contract since he was like 19 years old, and now he is 33. So he was just saying that he can't even imagine what companies like Universal are doing to younger artists or artists who don't have as much guidance if they're doing some shit like this to him, right? So yeah, we all know that the music industry is sometimes a very fucked up place for a lot of artists. I still don't understand why a lot of these artists who have a whole lot of power, like a lot of power on social media without the help of a label or anything like that. I don't understand why they keep going and signing, especially with these big ass advances. It's not a bonus, it's an advance, which means that if you don't sell enough, that shit, you start to owe the label. It's a lot of crazy shit that goes on with the music industry. But my thing is, like, a lot of it to me comes off as fake, because a lot of y'all niggas have musicians who are signed to y'all labels, and we don't hear shit from them. Sometimes the artists on y'all labels are the ones who come out here complaining and saying that, hey, like, I feel trapped in my contract. So it's like, I understand what people are trying to say, and I understand that the music industry is a fucked up place, like I said, but a lot of times for me, it comes from a disingenuous place, especially from these big artists who have smaller artists signed to their labels. Like, okay, so it ends up being this vicious cycle of taking advantage of slave contracts, of taking advantage of people at many different levels and layers and shit. So I don't know, I just noticed a pattern with Kanye West, but like I said, it's not just him. One of the only times that this unity thing, that this coming together thing is being preached is when it's their own shit on the line, and it comes across as very fake to me. So I don't know, that's kind of what I got from the situation. Please let me know what y'all think about it. Honestly, am I being too much? Am I doing too much? But it's been consistent, in my opinion, what he's been doing. And I hate to see it. So I know I've said this before, but I remember being in school learning about the Holocaust. I'm sure I said this before, learning about the Holocaust, and I was like, oh, well, how could people just sit back and let their government do this to a whole group of people? But here we are. And shit like that is happening right now, right? So Dawn Wooten, she is a whistleblower at Irwin County Detention Center in Georgia. That's South Georgia. This center is run by a private corporation called LaSalle Corrections. And this is coming from The Guardian, okay? So just listen to this. This is important. According to the new complaint, Wooten reported an alarmingly high rate of hysterectomies, and that is a surgery in which part or all of the uterus is removed. These surgeries being performed on Spanish-speaking immigrants, many of whom did not appear to even understand why they had undergone the procedure. She said an off-site director supposedly performed the surgeries on women who complained of heavy menstrual cycles, but that many women seemed not to understand what had happened. In many cases, nurses obtained consent from patients by simply Googling Spanish, the complaint alleges. So Wooten said everybody he sees, this doctor who's been, I guess, identified or accused of doing all this type of shit, everybody he sees has a hysterectomy, just about everybody. That's his specialty. He's a uterus collector. She says everybody's uterus can't be that bad, right? So now Wooten, I hope that she gets the protection that she deserves and needs for speaking out about this. She was demoted and reprimanded for speaking out. Immigrants who spoke out were punished with things like solitary confinement. More employees actually backed up Dawn Wooten's claim, but they wanted to stay anonymous for fear of retaliation on that. So it's not surprising. It's shocking to hear, but it's not surprising to me, just because of the history that the United States has had, especially experimenting on black women, experiments on black men. Remember the syphilis thing, just treating minorities in this country, forcing them into camps, experimenting on them, taking away their rights to their own body. This country has had such a history with this. Now, of course, ICE is saying, I don't even know why I'm bringing it up, but ICE is saying exactly what we expected them to say. They're saying that they vehemently dispute the implication that detainees are used for experimental medical procedures. So keep in mind that Indiana passed the world's first eugenics sterilization law in 1907. Under those laws, about 60,000 people were sterilized in procedures that we would qualify today as being compulsory, forced, involuntary, and under the justifications that the people who were being sterilized were unfit to reproduce. The laws which led to officials ordering sterilizations of people they deemed feeble-minded or mentally defective later became models for Nazi Germany. It does make me wonder, like, what else is happening in these goddamn camps. When you put people who already have these weird like sadistic tendencies in a place where there's no fucking oversight because people don't care about undocumented immigrants, you get a recipe for fucking disaster. You get a recipe for psychotic behavior, and you get these people telling you to shut the fuck up, trying to put people in solitary confinement, trying to punish the damn employees who are just like, what the hell are y'all doing? It is just right up America's alley. It's just right in their normal mode of behavior for something like this to be fucking happening in those goddamn camps. If this shit is not resolved, or if this shit is not looked at, taken care of, if this shit is not dismantled, I promise you that the reports are going to get worse. It's going to be just like Trump's behavior. He just, every time he sees that he can get away with something, he just pushes forward and just does something else crazier than the last, right? So if nothing comes of this, they're going to continue to do whatever the fuck they want to these people in these detention centers. So yeah, that's really depressing and frustrating and horrible news, but I think it is much better if we're aware of what's going on than to just wake up one day and they're slaughtering people in this, which we don't even know what's going on in these camps. We just have no idea. So sometimes I really do wish, like, you know, either I was Daenerys Targaryen with a couple of dragons or some shit, or she existed or something. Cause girl, I would take them dragons on a trip. We're going on a trip. We're going to these camps, girl. Dracarys, like tear this shit up. Tear it up. On that note, thank y'all so much for watching. Check out my Patreon at patreon.com/AdrianExpression, and make sure that you have a good goddamn evening.